This conference will now be recorded.
Hello everyone, very good morning to all. So in today's session, we have to discuss about the form handling again. So in the last session, we just added two fields in the form fields, right? Two fields here, and we implemented the same, right? So I think this is what we seen. You can check this one more time. What exactly we did here. So that let me show you the output also. And after that, I want to add some checkboxes, select boxes, text area and radio buttons. I want to fulfill the form completely. Okay, let me execute the project here, localhost colon 3000. Now you can see this is the form we created. Okay, this is our registration form or sign up form, whatever it may be, we created. Now I want to add some more fields here, password, or I want to add address, or I want to add some other and some other fields I want to add here. Okay, so let me go and let me add the fields. I think all the checkboxes are all the text boxes are same functionality. There is nothing difference in the text boxes. So now when we are working with the radio buttons, select boxes, and let us see how can we work with them. Right now I'm going to create some other form fields also in the form field. Now I want to add city or state. Okay, let me take the state. A state in the sense user user state user states, something like this we can take, and we can take these values here. User states are going to be, or else let me create the form first. Okay, let me add a drop down here in the form. Okay, this is the div we have. I'm copy pasting the same. Let me provide the label as select state. I'm providing the value called select state. This is I'm removing completely. Here we need to take a select tag open, select tag close. In this we will take option. Initially I will take one option with empty. I don't want to take anything here. Select state, and this is going to be value equal to empty. I don't want to set anything for it. Right. The next one, I will take some state values here. So this is going to be AP. I'm taking some value called AP. I'm taking something called KA, and I'm taking something called KA. Something I'm taking simply, right? So we are taking the codes. Now you can see in the front end, if you can refresh the page, now you can see I'm refreshing. If you can refresh the page, I think you can see the drop down. So what happened? Oh, it is compiling. Now you can check this. You are getting the state drop down, and we have the following values also here, right? Okay, but we have to apply the design classes also. Let me add the class name is equal to form control. This is the class we have for adding the design. Just check this. Sorry, here you can go to the browser and see the output. This is okay. But remember, these values I provided statically. Sometimes these values may come from database. Then what we need to do in this point of time? So we have to display those values dynamically, right? Let me do one thing for this. We don't have any database setup right now. Let me take some static values in the state object. Let us go to the state object. Here I am taking some concept called states. Okay, states, user states or whatever it may be. Now you can see I am taking this an array. Let us go with some values here. Later these values we will update dynamically. Once we got the data from server, we will update the state. I think you know how to update the state. Initially we will take empty state. Once page has been loaded, we will update the state by using ajax call. So let us write some values here. So I'm going to take some states here. Okay, something I'm taking randomly, no need to worry about them. Right, these are the values I need to process in the form. Later you can take all the 30 states if you want. Okay, but right now I'm taking only some values, but these values we are taking statically, but these values should come from db, but we don't have any other sources right now, that's why I'm taking statically. Now, what are the values we have in the state object? These values should be displayed here. You iterated this statically now? No, I want to display these values dynamically. Then what we need to do, I'm removing, take the JSX. Here we can write this dot state dot states. That is a variable we are having map method. So by using this map method, we can iterate those values, right? Dot map. Now you can go and check this. This is going to be item item comma index, and here we can check every option open option close. For I think in the map function, for every key we have, for every iteration we have to set the key, right? So this is going to be item. Can we go and check this? Is this is iterated? Now you can see all the values are coming which are in the state. Like this we can take the values, as well as for every option we have to set the value also. Value means we are not entering, we are selecting. We are here in the select box, we will never enter, we will select the value. That's the reason we have to set value attribute. Whatever the value you selected, that value should come to database. That's the reason we did now. So this value should be saved in the, let us take a variable called name is equal to user state. I'm taking this as a user state, and we have to add the common function on change equal to this dot input handler. That's all, one function for all the form fields. That's what we written. But early first scenario, every form field have a individual function. Second scenario we written internally, I mean inline way, and the third scenario we are writing one function for all the forms. Okay, right, this is the user state. I told you this, you provided a name for username, you provided name for email, right? In the same manner, the name of the input form field should be kept into the state. This is exactly to hold the value of it. User state is initially empty, we don't have anything. Now you can check this. Now I'm going to check this. Let us press F12 to see whether the selected value in the state is coming to db or not. Test. I'm entering some state here. Now you can see by selecting the state, I'm submitting, right, posting data to server. In the console, the selected state is coming. This is the user state is the object, the selected state, and username and email also coming here, the values we entered. In the same manner, let me take for radio buttons, two radio buttons. I'm taking this scenario. This time I want to take one more thing called gender. Div tag open. Let us have a class name is equal to form group, sorry. So here I'm taking label open, label close. I'm writing gender. So here two input form fields. Let me take two labels here. One is for male and one is for female. These are the labels, right? Female. Inside this, we will take input type is equal to, you can take it as a radio, 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 and a name equal to okay, I'm not taking name, just you can see here also you can take input type is equal to radio. I want to talk about one scenario here. So input type is equal to radio. Now you can see the output of the program. I think you can see the radio buttons here. We are able to see gender, male and female. If you can select this male, select it. If you can select female, that is also selected. But you know that here, any one of the options should be selected. So in this point of time, every field should have the same name, every radio button. So I'm taking the same name gender. I'm taking the same name gender, same name gender, name equal to gender, name equal to gender. Now you can check this. I'm selecting. Now if you can select this female, that will be deselected automatically because of the same name. So I told you already, whatever the name attribute you are providing for the input form field, the same name should be available in the state object. What is the name I provided? Gender. This is what we have to provide. Okay, so done. And after that, This is done, I believe. Oh, on change. What is the value you have manipulated that also should be saved in the state, right? On change is equal to this dot input handler. This function will taken care of the value is saved in the state. I think this is for this also we have to provide. And one more thing I forget, and a very important thing, this for a value should be there now. If there is no value, how can we do this? Value equal to, so let me provide the value called mail, M-A-L-E, mail, and let me provide. Here also, you are not entering, you are selecting. The selected value should go for DB now. That's the reason value attribute. You can see in the drop down also, you set a value attribute. In the drop down, will you enter or will you select? We will select. So this is what you need to take it here. Now this is done. Now let me enter some values here. Telangana, I'm selecting female. If you can submit, can you see the values are coming here? I didn't enter username. Now you can see the gender is coming as female. That is you selected, and I'm getting user state as Telangana. This is what we manipulated, right? Now it is ultimately one more thing I want to take. Please accept terms and conditions. There is a concept called right checkbox. So we need to work with all the form fields, guys. That's the reason I'm concentrating on it. By just creating two text boxes, I think it won't give you a good idea. That's the reason we are adding all the text boxes here. Class is equal, class name equal to form group, form group. Okay. So let us take the label open, label close. Here I want to take, please accept terms and conditions. Conditions, okay. So I think we can see that please accept terms and conditions. Before this, I need to add a input field. Here also the same input type is equal to checkbox. Name equal to terms and conditions. Value equal to yes. If you selected the checkbox, value S will be saved. And the same on change event handler I need to take here. On change equal to this dot input handler. This dot input handler. This dot input handler, take it. Now you can done. This value also will be saved in the state. Now you can see I'm selecting the values. So now you can select the terms and conditions. If you can click, the value S will be also there in the state. Like this, we have to check each and every thing is updating into the state object or not. So this is very important. The same terms and conditions also, I think earlier you didn't set anything here. Let me do one thing. TNC also I'm going to take. TNC is also initially empty. Terms and conditions. Okay. Right, perfect. Now the final thing. Okay, up to here we are okay. We almost all covered many things. Now the question is here, when we are having multiple checkboxes, what we have to do? That's the question. So if it is a one checkbox, okay, this is very clear for us. But there is a problem with the multiple checkboxes. How can we handle the multiple checkboxes that we are going to see now? Let us see how we can see the multiple checkboxes. Now, let me take some values here. Now you can check this. I'm going to take, um, how can I take here that multiple checkboxes? HOBBIS, hobbies list. Okay, I'm taking hobbies list. Okay, let me take, you can take anywhere here, no problem. I'm taking in the middle, right? So let me take an array or a string. Sometimes what people will do, they will take it as a string. Sometimes they will send you the all the hobbies as a something like this. Like this, I'm going to take a string like this. Check this carefully. Okay, Andy. So these are the some checkboxes I have. Then every value separated by hash. So like this, because the separator for every option they use it as separator. You have to remove the separator, we have to get all the values, and we have to display the list of checkboxes into the screen. Now first and foremost thing, in the render method I want to log one message. Try to see console.log. I'm just going to write this dot state dot use hobbies list kada, sorry, HOBBIS, HOB hobbies list. Just I'm console.log. I think you can see all the values are coming here. Okay, so on the console we're able to see the values, but how can I display them as a text boxes? Can we display they are that is string completely? There is a reason we have string method called split method. We are splitting the string with a hash. Now you can check this. Now everything is converted into an array, but at the end of it there is an empty element because of the lost. Also we have some hash, right? That's why. So to do this, to remove, we have a method called filter. So in this, we can use something called Boolean. Now, if we can refresh, the empty value also will be gone. What filter method will do? If the Boolean, that is going to be removed from the array. So this is done, I believe. So now the next thing here, what I need to do. So these are the array. These array of items we have to display now. Let us take one local here. Let HOBBIS hobbies is equal to something. I'm taking a local variable. So whatever the values we have in the state that I'm collecting into render method, I taken as a local variable. From this local variable, I have to display hobbies. Let us go there. Where can I display the hobbies here? Let me select the hobbies here. Div class name is equal to form group. So inside of it, I'm taking the label open, label close. HOBBIS hobbies. Here I have to take the JSX HOBBIS hobbies dot map function. In the map function, there is a callback function item comma with index. So I'm taking the label open, label close. For this, I have to set the key index. Now you can go with something called item. So now you can check this. The screen, we are able to display the values, whatever the values we have in the array displayed, but there should be checkbox in front of it, right, to check the item. Then what I want to do here, in front of the label, I have to add an input field. Input type equal to checkbox. You can check this. This is going to be checkbox. Now if you can refresh, all the checkboxes are coming there. So which checkbox you checked, based on that it should be processed. Now you can check this. Okay, perfect. So now I have to take the name is equal to hobbies, HOBBIS hobbies, and value equal to the value you selected item. Okay, right. Now you can check this hobbies into the state also. Now I'm going to, the selected value should be saved into some variable, and that's the reason we are taking hobbies is an array. The selected values, I don't know how many hobbies you are going to select it. All the values should come into this array. If you selected two, the two values should be into the array. If you selected one, only one should be into the array. For this handling also, we are in the loop right here. For all the fields, I'm adding on change equal to this dot input handler. I'm writing this dot input handler. So in the input handler, let us see, you already defined this function. In this, we are going to write a little small logic, guys, here. Check this carefully. If, so you have to write the function like this. If it is a checkbox, we have to do something. E dot target dot type. So what is this target dot name? So target dot name will give you the current text box name. Target dot value means current text box value. Target dot type means what type of box that is, what type of input field that is, equal to checkbox. If it is equal to checkbox, right, I have to process that. Otherwise I don't want to process this. Okay, right. Now you can see this should be into the else block. You should kept into the else block. Only for checkboxes only we have to update the different state here. Let me show you how can we update it. First of all, this is the selected, whatever the value you selected, that value is available in this array or not, we have to check. If it is available, we don't want to add it. If it is not available, we have to add it. So your initially there is empty now. On click the checkbox, the value should be pushed into it. The value should be push it into it. How can we push it? Let us go one thing. First of all, let us take the local variable. One more thing, this is for hobbies only now. Let me do one more condition here. Not for terms and conditions. I mean, in the form you have two checkboxes now. For this, we don't want to manipulate anything. Only for hobbies only, this logic we are writing. So I want to write one more logic, e dot target dot name is equal to hobbies. Okay, just I'm going to write something like this. It is only for hobbies only. I don't want to write some other, only for hobbies. Then what we will do, that should be checkbox and that should be hobbies. Exactly. So what shall we do here? If it is a checkbox, if it is not a checkbox, if it is a hobbies one, what I want to do, let me do one thing. Let HB, I'm taking one variable, this dot state dot hobbies. I'm getting the hobbies. What are the hobbies we have in the state object? Okay. Let me write one more variable. Let find is equal to, I want to know HB dot index of is a method. From the index of method, I want to know the value you entered. So is this value is available in this array? It will give the position. I mean, what is the index of method will do? We can find the position of the element in the array. So I'm getting actual list of states in the array. Initially we don't have any state, so HB is an array that is an empty. In the HB I am identifying whether whether that element is available. Whatever the checkbox you checked, that value is available in the array. If it is available in the array, we don't want to push it. If it is, if you are clicking second time, I have to remove it also. What is that removing logic? I will write 1 minute. I am writing if find greater than -1. If the element found, we have to write this dot, sorry, HB dot splic splice. In this I'm writing find comma 1. One element should be deleted if it is already there. If it is not there, we have to push it. So what I want to do, HB dot push push. Here you have to write event dot target dot value. Event dot target dot value. The value we have to push. If already there, we have, I mean, you are checking the checkbox, you are unchecking. If you're checking and unchecking, then we have to remove it, right? That's the reason we are going to do like this. Okay, so this is what we are having. So finally, if this is done, I have to update the state. This dot set state in this, let me take hobbies only, HB now, HOBBIS hobbies. This dot state dot hobbies. Just I'm going to update the state. Once hobbies are updated, we have to update it. If it is a normal checkbox, what I need to do, if it is a checkbox, there is one more thing, right? I think here, okay, this we written properly. This is enough, I believe. We don't want to do, okay, let me remove this. Let me check this. What is going to be happen here? So I'm processing only hobbies, okay, only hobbies. If type is checkbox and name is equal to hobbies, then it should be processed like this. If you don't want one more condition here, we can write both the conditions here. And type should be checkbox and name should be hobbies. Why should I write unnecessary two conditions here? Let me remove this, okay, right. So let me check this, what is going to be happen. What are the values we selected? Those values should be available into the array. So now you can come here. Now let me check what is going to be happen. The selected values should be into the array. I'm selecting playing, I'm selecting singing. Okay, oh, I'm having an error. So what is that error? HB.push is not a function. Okay, let me do one thing. Hobbies, you can take hobbies, you can take hobbies. I'm taking the variable name as hobbies. Directly we can push hobbies here without that. I think this is enough, I believe. Let me do one thing. I'm going to take like this, and let me check this. What is going to be happen this time? Let me check this. So I selected. So error is coming again. What is the problem? For what it is working like? 1 minute. Let me check the thing. Find gamma one. Hobbies dot push is not a function. Not getting this. Splice we use it here. Okay. Hobbies dot push. We are pushing the target dot value. I need to take this into else block, I believe. Let me check this finally. If that is not working, we have to take it into else block. Yes, I have to take this into else block. Let me take this. We have to keep this into else. Earlier we taken, but okay, no worries. Right, okay, check this now. I think it may works for us now. So selected and selected. Okay, perfect. So now if we can select male and gender and check this, I'm going to check here. The data is available here. Can you see? These are the selected values of you. Now I'm going to, you checked two things, right? I'm checking all four. If we can submit, we can see all the four values in the state. Now you can see all the four values you selected, all the four values are in the array. Now I'm deselecting cooking and signing. Now if you can submit again, it is going to be submitted again, right? Now this time you can see it should have only two values, the playing and dancing. I think this is the way of handling checkboxes. Checkboxes is, if you have one checkbox, okay. When we are having multiple checkboxes, definitely the way of handling is going to be little different. So we have to be careful, whatever it may be. So there are a lot of logics are there. You can go through Google for these checkboxes. I think you will find different logics there, definitely, right? So I think just I want to go with only hobbies. I think this will work. Let me check this. So I'm selecting. So I don't have any error. Let me check this. So posting data to server, is the values are coming into the object? Yes, whatever it may be, both are same. So just we can give the object, because here we assigned it to this dot state dot hobbies. So it will give you the, what is the meaning of this dot state dot hobbies. Let me explain you the logic also one time. Here initially we don't have any hobbies, right? That empty hobbies we are getting on load the page. This is initially on click the handler. After that, you are clicking one checkbox, right? The checkbox value will come here. Whatever the value you checked, first I'm finding whether that value you selected is available in the array or not. So what is index of method will do? It will identify whether an element is available in the array or not. If it is available in the array, it will return the position of the element. If it is not available, it will return -1. Right? We know that what it will do. If element found, that position we can get 0 or 1 or 3 or 4. If it is not found, we can get -1. So if it is -1, for example, you have -1, -1 greater than -1 na? No, right? It's not true. Then the element -1 means the element is not there in the array. If element is not there, we have to push the element in the array na? Yes, we are pushing the array into the element. Okay. The second time, one more scenario. The same element is already exists. Now you can see you are finding the element. For example, you clicked cooking. So this cooking is already exists in the array at first position or second position. I don't know at what position this is there. Now find value will be 2 now. 2 greater than -1. It is true, means that the element is already exists. If the element is already exists, I have to remove. What splice method will do? It will remove the element from the position. Find the 2 comma 1 means from 2 comma 1 it will remove one element. I mean, you are checking a checkbox. So now you can see here what I'm doing. You clicked the checkbox, right? So then what happened on click the checkbox? It will be added into the array. If you're clicking it again, then what I want to do, you have to remove the checkbox now. You unselected. On unselect, the checkbox should be removed from the array. You selected, it should be added into the array. It should be added into the unselect. Definitely, we have to remove that from an array now. That's the reason we are writing splice method here. Splice method will remove that array element if it exists. If it exists, we can remove. If it is not exists, we have to add that into the array. This is what exactly the multiple checkbox handling. Okay, the next thing, through this form, what we have to do, we have to prepare validations on submit the button. We have to do the validations and we have to post data to server. Actually, the two things you can remember, these values we taken statically. Later, we will write some service. We will write some service. Based on the service, we will get these values by using Axios. And the developers or backend team will tell us where to send the request, how to get the data. These people will tell us to get the item, hobbies list and all. Sometimes we will get all the data from the server. Sometimes we have to take some static values as per the customer requirement. So based on that, we will process it, guys, right? So, but it's not good. It's not recommended to add all the uh, input checkboxes directly. Okay, so we don't want to do, we will write a loop here for iterating the checkbox. So for all these, we have only one function. We have only one function. In the function, we are writing a condition. What is the condition we are writing? If the handling input form field is a checkbox, then we have to do one thing. So if it is a checkbox and hobbies, do something. Otherwise, else block will be executed and remaining values are going to be saved. If you have multiple checkboxes only, if you don't have multiple checkboxes, this logic is not required to write, right? Sometimes we don't know. It's a form we have to create. In the form, it may be combination of multiple form fields. In this point of time, we have to be careful. If it is a 1, 2 fields, we don't have any problem, right? Yeah. So the next thing, we need to go for validations. Please let me know in this as of now if you have any doubts. Kiran and Nitish, we have any doubts in this? Let me know.
No, sir, no doubt, sir.
Okay, okay, Nitish, fine. Okay, Kiran, then if you guys can practice this, the next thing we need to talk about the validations and directly posting data to server. How to do the validation? That is also nothing but state management only. For this also, what we will do in this, we are going to create. This is a thing, right? For errors, I am creating one object, one array. What are all the errors? I mean, on submit the form, we have to identify each and every text box. If their value is empty, then we have to push that error message into the error state. This dot state dot errors, username, email, something like this. We have to push an element into the array. We have to use an array of objects. Array of objects. So username error, for example, it should become like this. Username is a text box now, text box field, username, and it's error. So username required, something like this. We have to update the state, username required, right? So like this, if it is a mobile, and you can take this as the next one is going to be email, right? Sorry, email. So email required, email should be valid. Like this, we have to update. Right now, you cannot take like this. It is not valid. You have to check whether the text box is empty or not. If the text box is empty, update the state, username required. email required. If they are not empty, that field should not be available into the array, errors array. So that we have to do dynamically. That I will explain you tomorrow. How can we handle the errors as well as how can we post the data to server? Both we can see tomorrow. So form handling will be completed as well as Axios also will be completed. That we can see tomorrow. So any other doubts you have, you can let me know, please. Form handling is one of the mostly used important concept, guys. Definitely in every kind of not only React application, Angular, Node, you can go anywhere. Form handling is mandatory. This is one of the commonly used one in the real-time application developments, right? Definitely we should be perfect in the form handling. We have a lot of ways are there. Finally, we can stick to this way. The third approach, we seen three approaches, right? The third approach, this is what we have seen right now. This is we will implement in real time always. So Kamesh Kuride. Okay, guys, then we can see tomorrow then. Okay. Tomorrow, without fail, we have to complete the form and its error handling as well as posting data to server. Then we can go for some sub concepts are there in the React class components. After that, we can go for hooks.